Hi everyone, it's Christina here from Pardot and in this video I wanted to introduce you to Pardot Engagement Studio. This video will be great for everyone who is new to Pardot, new to Engagement Studio, and I want to make sure I have an opportunity to take you inside Pardot, take you inside Engagement Studio, and see all the good magic that you can do within. So let's start. To access Engagement Studio feature, first of all, obviously you need to have a right role in your organization. Not every role has actually access to this functionality. If you are administrator, if you're marketing manager, if you're marketeer, you'll have access to this feature. So to access Engagement Studio, you will need to navigate to Marketing, Engagement Studio, and then just click on the Engagement Studio and it will bring you to the screen. Obviously, if you'll have any Engagement Studios previously created, you're gonna see them. If not, it will be blank. So to create a new Engagement Studio, we're gonna click on Add Engagement Studio Program button, and it will open a new layout for us. So let's start with the beginnings. So first thing first, obviously you're creating engagement program for a specific purpose. So whatever is the purpose, you're gonna give it a name. I'm obviously very big on naming conventions. So I believe that kind of everything that you are creating it for a specific purpose. And you want to include these keywords in the name so everyone actually knows what this engagement program was for. And then also if we are including things like dates, in the future, you'll be able to easily distinguish which are the programs that are potentially retired, and you can easily delete them or pause them to make sure you free up the space for the new ones. Because there's actually a limit depending on your edition that you have purchased. There's a limit on how many active engagement programs you can have and how many you can have actually in total. So let me just give it a brief name. Obviously, it will be a playful name for this test video, but I'm gonna call it EMEA UK Christina test, and I'm gonna give it a date because I like to give a date to everything that I create. So obviously further, then you're gonna choose the folder. Where should this sit? I'm gonna place it into UK marketing website. That's just a brief example. Obviously, if you're creating like a program that potentially will be used for a long time and different events in the future, meaning that somebody will be cloning this program, and this is actually a great thing to do. You just pre-create a couple of templates that all your team can then reuse, and then just paste their add their lists or emails, whatever they actually want to add for that specific event. So it's great to add description, not obligatory, obviously. Then you're gonna see there is a recipient list functionality. So obviously you'll add your recipient list. It can be one, it can be multiple, as many as you need. As well as you can have a suppression list. So potentially if you have some blacklisted customer list or any people that you want to avoid, potentially you can have a dynamic list that looks up for all the prospects in your organization that have already received 3 emails this week. So it's kind of a dynamic list that is all the time populated, or people are removed from that list depending on how many emails they have received this week. So if you want to make sure you don't bombard them with another engagement program and another email, you can do so. As well as a good trick, maybe you have couple equivalent programs running at the same time. So maybe you want to include lists that are used in other programs as a suppression list to make sure a person doesn't go through multiple engagement programs at the same time. But obviously you can be very creative or not, depending on your desire. Then we have this checkbox functionality, send emails during business hours only. Depends on you. Most of the businesses, they probably want to send out engagement programs during the week, probably, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they say. is the best to send out emails so people make sure they read it, but it really depends on what type of business you're actually in. And the same thing we can do with day start, day end. So those times you can select either in the evening, morning, whatever works. And then also depending on where this program will gonna be launched, you wanna select the time zone. So potentially your business is international, but all the marketing teams are using one Pardot.org. So if they're preparing a program that should run for their Paris prospects, they're gonna select the French time zone. So this will gonna help and make sure people actually receive email during these hours based on the time zone. And then quite a new functionality, it has been released I think a year and a half ago, allow prospects to enter program more than once. So potentially if this program is created for GDPR purpose and you want to send re-opt-in email to a prospect every year or every second year, you can use this checkbox, so the same email and they enter the same program in those times. So I'm just gonna click save at this stage and we're gonna continue diving in. So first thing first, we have made sure we have set up everything here. Now I'm gonna click on the plus icon over here. So you can see 5 different options you can do. Actions, triggers, rules, copied steps. You can also copy steps. It's not that advanced, but you can copy some steps and paste them in so you don't need to physically recreate the same thing again and again. And then you have end option. So I was just gonna start creating, let's say, kind of sample program to give you kind of a taste what can potentially happen. So let's imagine this is event invitation program, and first thing that I want to do, I want to send out invitation email. So I'm just going to select email option, and then we'll be able to select the email template that is already published. I'm not going to select any templates, but you're going to select the template that will be suitable to you. And then I can choose immediately, wait, like I can wait for 7 days after I start the program, or I can send it on a specific date. So let's say your event is running in 1 month time and you want to be able to send out invitation emails, reminder emails at a specific date to make sure they all kind of work out. So this can be potentially a good solution. Or if you just want to build it and send first email as soon as possible, you just can select the immediate option. And I'm gonna do that. So second step, I will go for the trigger. And in the trigger, what is usually interesting and important, right? It's probably important for us to check if the email was open. So I'm gonna select email was open, and if I would have selected the email template in the first step, it would actually give me the email template to select the same. And let me actually do that for this video. I'm just gonna select the first email template that I have. And if I'll now go and check email open, it will now be available to select, and it will automatically offer me that email template that was selected already in the previous step. So I'm gonna say yes. And usually when we do this email open trigger, we don't wanna leave it just like that. Usually we need to decide what would be a good time to give person an opportunity to actually open email. From my perspective, I think usually it's good to give person like 2-3 days. I usually like to stick with 2, just to make sure, like, depending, maybe it was Monday, it was a busy day, so maybe they didn't open on Monday, but they're gonna open like on Tuesday or Wednesday when everything sets down. So I usually add 2 days. Wait up to 2 days, so meaning actually people who open email straight away, they will go to the next step, or people who will not gonna open it straight away, you will gonna give them at least 48 hours. Or if you want to make sure all prospects are moving together in engagement program, they literally go through the steps all together, then you can say wait 2 days. So then all people that gonna receive the email, doesn't matter whether they open straight away or did they open after 30 hours, they will all gonna sit until let's say in this box until you're gonna release the next box so they can go to the next one. Depends on your specific program. I'm just gonna say wait up to 2 days. and I'm gonna say yes. So now here we are in a position where we can create two different things for the people to do when they open email or when they don't open email. So in my case, because they opened email, and let's say my email had a link to a landing page with a form where they can register, and that form had a completion action to add them to the campaign in Salesforce with the status registered. And let's say my goal is to make sure actually everyone who opens my invitation, they register for my event. So I will gonna check and I'm gonna give my prospects 2 days to open my email and 2 days to register for my event. Here I'm gonna select rule, evaluate a statement, and I'm gonna select Salesforce campaign status. I'm gonna select a magical campaign that I have. Let's just be lucky. So I'm just gonna select this old campaign, and I'm gonna say, I have status sent, responded, connected. Let's imagine responded is registered. Campaign status is registered, and evaluate either immediately or I'm gonna say 2 days. I'm gonna give them always 2 days to do the action that I want them to do, because everybody is very busy in this world. So now we have like a slowly creating like a nice flow. So we send out invitation, we then check whether they opened our invitation. We then check, we wait for 2 days and check whether they actually registered for our event. And then if they registered for our event, obviously, as I said in the beginning, let's imagine our event is in 1 month time. So I want to then be able to send them a reminder 1 week before the event, and I'm just going to select any template that I have, and I'm going to say if my event is on the 6th of May, when is my birthday? So event is on the 6th of May, 1 week before, it will be 30th April. So I'm gonna send 1 week before a reminder, hey, by the way, you need to come to my birthday party in 1 week's time. Then I will gonna check. So what I like to do, guys, when I build engagement programs like this, I also like to include, let's say, custom redirects that also allow prospects to cancel their registration from the reminder email. And if they actually click and cancel their attendance, I can automatically update their status in Salesforce to canceled, to make sure before the event 1 or 2 days I actually know that kind of real number, rather than I hope that 20 people will turn up but actually 5 of them decided and understood they actually can't make it, but they didn't have a chance to let me know. That's why when I'm building these email templates, I also make sure I have like a button or a link, like actually 2 CTAs usually, a button and then on the bottom like a link option for them actually to cancel. What I would do in this case, after I send that email, I would actually like to evaluate again. Let me evaluate if their campaign status, and I'm just gonna select again the same campaign, is, let's say, connected is cancel, and I'm just gonna wait for 2 days. And if they canceled, I will gonna basically end a program for them. If they did not cancel, I will gonna send them an email 1 day before the event to make sure again I remind them to come on a specific date, and it will be 5th of May. Perfect. So then all people that did not cancel, they will gonna receive an email from me 1 day before the event to make sure, basically remind them that tomorrow is an event, make sure you come. So this is just kind of a brief program. Obviously, with all those people who did not open my first email, I would send again the same email in 1 week's time to make sure they actually receive email. So if they did not open my email, after, I'm now gonna say wait for 5 days, and after 7 days send them again the same invitation. So then again, technically I would need to build the same or similar rules to check whether they registered for my event. And then if they registered, I can send them again on a specific date a reminder, and then I can check if they 1 day before or whatever did not cancel my event. Technically this can go and be a very big program, and usually if we are organizing like event, because I chose purpose of this video to be like an event, usually we would send out a first invitation like 1 month or 2 months in advance, and then we would basically have multiple flows, and we would make sure, I usually believe we can send an invitation, let's say 3 times, 3 weeks in a row, based on the GDPR, if they did not open the first and the second one. And then if they did not open our invitation email 3 times in a row, let's finish and the same way as here, end the program for them. But then again, before you actually end a program for them, I would then add an action there, like add them to the list, and then I would actually make sure I would, after the event, review all those people that did not open my invitation email 3 times in a row, because potentially maybe, and this is what can happen with Pardot, maybe their secure server is actually blocking your Pardot emails and they're not coming through. So maybe you want to, when you see people are not opening your emails, maybe you want to ring them up and just double check that they really can't make it or really did not had chance to open your email, because this can also happen as well. So, and now what I want to quickly do, obviously, I want to take you through all the possible actions that you can do within the engagement program. So in the actions section, I can add prospect to a list, I can add to a Salesforce campaign, adjust the score, add tag, assign to a group, assign to a Salesforce queue, assign to a user. I use Salesforce assignment rules, change prospect field value, create Salesforce task, notify user, remove from the list, remove tags, and send email. In the triggers, I can custom redirect click, email link click, email open, file download, form handler complete, landing page. And for rule, I can evaluate whether they were assigned to a Salesforce queue, whether the user is assigned, what is their assignment status, what is their grade, what is their list, what is their Pardot campaign, what is their custom field value, default field value, email status, prospect tag, Salesforce campaign status, Salesforce status, and score. And then, as I mentioned, this copy steps. So let's imagine I wanna select, I wanna copy this one step, I press copy, and then here in a plus, I copied steps, and it will basically paste that step. Let's say you have maybe like 5 steps in a row, and you just don't want to recreate them in every flow, in every chart that it goes to. So you can literally just copy these steps and then paste them automatically with one single step. Engagement programs can be very powerful. You can create them really interesting, and they can serve a lot of purposes. They can be welcome journeys, they can be nurture journeys, they can be retention journeys, they can be journeys when prospects, if they download specific gated content or white paper, they go through kind of further introductory flow about that specific product that was mentioned or featured in that gated content or white paper. Like, you can be like really creative, and you can, achieve a lot of things with this engagement program. So hopefully I kind of gave you a brief idea what you can do with this tool. Thank you for tuning in. All the best. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Bye!